We'll get started with Juan Carlos.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for your time. Just wanted to ask you, how's the team in terms of fitness? Any rotations to be expected, or um, is the lineup going to stay the same for the game against Toronto?
Um, with regards to where the team is, Keaton Parks is pushing really hard. I'm not so sure he'll be ready. He won't be ready to start the game. It's going to be whether he can make the bench. I think it'll be really helpful if he can make the bench. Just purely because we've lost Alfredo Morelos. Alfredo Morelos won't be ready for the game. He has an adductor problem. Everybody else is good. Obviously, we're a little bit bruised and a little bit battered from playing twice, the weekend and then playing again on Wednesday. It was a really, really tough game in the sense of we fought really hard against a good Orlando team, but we got in today. The team is in good spirits. I expect some rotation in the team, not so much, but I think there's some opportunity for some guys that maybe haven't seen the field lately. I think Tellez is the obvious one. He's pushing for a start, so maybe I change. But I think Richie gave us a really good structure playing in there with Santi. He's been okay after going off with the ankle. He's okay. He's a bit bruised, but it's not a serious injury.
Christian?
How's it going, Nick? I wanted to ask about Tallis Magno because he and Monsef Bakrar really haven't played together much since Bakrar's come into the team. And when they did play together in this past matchup, they seemed to link up quite well. And I think I would wager to say that it's probably the best that we've seen Tallis perform so far this season. Is that a link up that you're going to look to exploit now that the team like really needs points like for this playoff push? Or is it still just a touch and go before each game?
I agree. I think Tellez really performed well when he came in. He gave us life. You could see the offensive quality that he really has. And, I said before, he's working really, really hard. So I think it does surprise me that he came in and one got a goal. I think he got a chance as well just before the goal. So, I've been really pleased with the way Tellez has prepared himself to play, and he's pushing for a start. So, we haven't seen him with Monsef. We don't play with two strikers, so it's difficult to put them both in there. But I think Santi Rodriguez, Julian Fernandez, Talles Magno, Richie Ledesma, Matti Pellegrini, Andres Yassin got an assist. We've got a lot of offensive guys really pushing to help the team at the moment.
Michael?
Yeah, Nick, I guess I'm thinking about going along the same lines, just about that, because we talked about this after the Vancouver game, about this conversation about form over freshness. You've got that form. It seems like it's a question of can these guys be fit to play against Toronto and get the 3 points?
Yeah, I think when you look at that game in Vancouver, we had a lot of options, and we still have options, but we don't have Keaton Parks. We don't have Alfredo Morelos. Richie Ledesma took the knock, although he's okay. It's still a knock. We've rolled the team. Tellez is pushing for a start, for sure. I've always been a guy that's gone with form. I said, after the Vancouver game, I changed Santi for Richie in that game, but I've always been a guy, if you look at last year, once we got the form at the end of the year and we changed the system, the same guys rolled consistently. So, I wasn't so pleased with the start of that Vancouver game. I thought we lacked a bit of intensity, so we have to be mindful of that. But, I don't envisage a lot of changes, maybe 1, 2, 3 changes that will give us the opportunity to have fresh legs in the team.
Oliver?
Hi, thank you, Coach. The referee for this game is going to be Sergei Boyko. And the last time he officiated a game, I believe it was against the Crew, which ended in kind of a wild way with a red card for the coach and lots of added minutes and a certain amount of chaos that ended with Columbus scoring a goal. How do you prepare for the referee, and do you prepare in different ways for different referees?
No, we don't prepare differently. We focus on ourselves and how we can make sure that we don't have to rely on the referee. And I think that Columbus game is a good example. I think we had many, many chances in the game. And if we'd have took the chances, I said after this game, if we get the second goal, we have a huge opportunity to win and away at Columbus, although it was chaos. And I do think he lost control. And it didn't help us that there was 12 minutes added after their coach was the guy that forced the extra issue. And we probably weren't in such a great place. We didn't have so many options with injuries. I actually thought that was, it didn't help. But I think for us, it's about concentrating on how we are the best we can be, who we are playing against us in opposition, and making sure that, if we can get this, you look at those games where we've got the second goal, the home games earlier on in the season, Montreal, this one at Orlando. For us, the second goal really gives us that cushion to make us, one, play our game and also settle into the game and not be in a place where we can give away late opportunities and tie.
Andrew?
Hi, thank you for taking the time. Team hasn't won 2 consecutive matches since back in April. And I guess consistency of just being able to string together wins has kind of been an ongoing thing throughout the season. Even with Toronto, the 2 performances from like the first match you guys played in Toronto to when you beat them 5-0 in New Jersey not that long ago, 2 very different kind of ways the team performed. How do you sort of try to get the consistency in place now at a time when you kind of can't afford to not have multiple wins in a row? Like, you kind of need the wins to start to be strung together at this time of season. So what are you guys kind of focusing on as the things to carry over from the win Wednesday into another win potentially on Saturday?
Yeah, I think for us is I totally agree. I think the only way that we're going to make sure we're above the line is by consistently winning, and we haven't done that. But we know that we are playing playoff football, and we have to have the mentality that it's winning in, or we don't win it. It's going to be incredibly difficult. And I think we've been good at that over the last 2 years in playoffs. That's why we've got to 2 conference finals, and we have to adopt that mentality. I think even in your question, when you say, even though it's Toronto, we can't think that way because, yeah, okay, they're bottom of our league and they haven't won many football games, but this team beat Philadelphia 2 games ago, who are consistently a team that wins. So, this team can win football games, but we have to adopt the mentality that we have to go and win, and we have to make sure that we play with intensity. They have good players, and the opportunity to win when you have good players is always there. So for us, it's about concentrating on ourselves, making sure that we have the right mentality going into the game, make sure that we play with the right intensity. I was really, really pleased with the intensity and the mentality of the team in the Orlando game. And I think that has to be in the bottom. And then if we can get our performance to levels where we've had it with that mentality and that intensity, we give ourselves the best chance of winning the football game.
101, Christian Hennig.
Hi, Coach. You referenced previously all gas, no breaks. Do you prefer that situation where you just have to go and win games rather than speculating about the maths and get a draw here, get a point there?
Yeah, I think, I've said all along, this team is developing and is, although maybe from an outside, it hasn't looked that we've got the results, and we haven't. But what we have had is a consistent development in the mentality and the soul of the group in areas of performance, in the way that we've recruited players. We've brought this team along in many, many ways. And I think the Orlando game showed me that the mentality and the intensity of the way that we're thinking and the way that we're applying and approaching games is there to go and win in a game that is ultimately playoff games. We have to make sure that we get the game level exactly where we need it. And that comes with mentality and preparation. I've been really pleased with the way the team has prepared yesterday and today, the way that, we know that we won against Orlando, but this is in the past now. Now it's about the future and about the next game. And for us, it's about how we make sure we go into that game with the real understanding that it's about how we perform on the day.